When you look at what is going on throughout the lower mainland, Surrey stands out as a place where homes are not selling compared to other areas, compared to last year. And it's not that prices are going down. In fact, when you look at the numbers, both every MLS HPI, median home price, and average home price are all actually going up. But the bigger issue is that sellers and buyers are not coming to an agreement on a price, and that transaction is not happening. So the Surrey market isn't frozen right now because nobody wants to buy. It's because buyers and sellers cannot agree to a price and that value of that home in today's market. So let's dig into the numbers here. As you can see, this is ZLT. This is the weekly number of sales that we've had in each week for just the city of Surrey. We're going to go over other areas too, but like I said, Surrey is the epicenter of frozen inventory and frozen buyers and frozen sellers. So last week, ending in April 10th, we had only 73 sales of all residential types in the city of Surrey. Last year, ending in April 11th, we had 139. So let's just say 50% sales drop from last year to this year, which is a massive, massive difference from what we had. And it's just 1 week. That's the biggest thing to think of and to remind yourself of. This is just 1 week. Let's see how next week turns out. You can see here, in fact, the following week, ending in April 18th, it was actually slower than it was. So maybe this is something that does happen at this time of the year. We'll see. We have to keep a close eye on this. The weeks prior, as you can see, 88 sales in 2026, 100 sales in 2025, 106 sales in 2026, the week prior, ending in March 27th, and 98. So we actually had more sales this year in 2026 than we did last year for that week, ending in March 27th. But like I said, home prices, somehow, some way, are actually going up. Again, it is a tiny, tiny amount going from, this is the MLS HBI price, going from $907,400 to $908,700. Just a measly $1,300 difference. And this is HBI price, which is generally slower to react to the market, generally slower to get any type of influence of what is going on. If we look at sale prices, we can see that the average sale price has gone up since January, $939, all the way up to $983. So the average price for the city of Surrey has gone up for the sales that are happening in the market right now. And the median price as well since January has gone up 3 times. Each month it has gone up higher, from $795 to $829. But that's not what I'm seeing in the market right now. I don't think these numbers are really holding true. I think there's just more higher end product getting sold, and maybe there's a little bit lower end product not moving. And so that is why these numbers are a little bit skewed. Again, you can see this median sale price jumps around a lot, but when you look at the MLS HPI price, it is a smoothed out line and it is indicative of what is actually happening in the market. Again, it's just unfortunate that it does lag a little bit. One reason why I think this is a possibility, why we're seeing a little bit more issues in the Surrey market versus other markets, it could be something that I brought up before, is that Surrey has a higher percentage of people owning their home with a mortgage. Only 30% of people own their home in Surrey without a mortgage. It's right around 30%, where if you go into some places in Vancouver, it's up to 50% of people have no mortgage on their home in Vancouver. So that could definitely have some pressure on people in this market. And again, like I said, it's a sale price is an agreement between two different sides of how much the value of that home is. And when you are stressed out, when you are mortgaged to the T's, as they say, then this is certainly something that can put pressure and make it harder to negotiate those prices down for those buyers who believe the price is lower. Now, I said this in my last video, sellers are very slow to react, and the ones that are selling on the market right now are reacting a little bit quicker to what is going on, and that is why they are getting the sale prices they are getting. So buyers right now are writing offers where they think the market is going to be, and sellers are accepting offers where the market is right now. And that's the biggest difference. The gap between that is getting bigger, and the prices are not being negotiated upon for the value of the actual home. And that is why we are not seeing a lot of sales in this market. So if we look around in the other areas of the Greater Vancouver area, you can see last week we had 438 sales. The year before they had 472, so it is a decrease again. If we look at the Fraser Valley overall, of course, it's going to be somewhat representative because Surrey's in there, but 192 last week and 251. It's not double though. That's the biggest thing to point out. Only Surrey was double basically. If we look at Abbotsford, here's Abbotsford, 28 sales. It just seems like that's an abysmal number anyways, but 28 sales. Last year, we actually had more than what we had this year. So 21 sales last year in this week ending in April 11th. So Abbotsford was actually busier this year than it was last year. We can squeeze around to Burnaby here, 42 versus 54. Again, it's a lower amount. And Richmond itself here, 58 versus 44. So it's actually busier this year in Richmond versus last year. Again, that Surrey market coming out looking absolutely slower than any other market in the Lower Mainland. So right now, it's not that Surrey homes don't have any value. There's certainly some agreements coming together, some sales coming together, of course, but it's the fact that buyers and sellers aren't agreeing to that value to the normal amount of times that they usually do in this more active spring market. And until that gap closes, this is going to continue, and we're going to see sales drop off in the Surrey market. But it's definitely, like I said, this is only 1 week, and it's something we are going to pay attention to going forward.